I made a video recently where I talked about slow fire. Reading about slow fire, I ran across slow travel, slow dining, and slow living. I was intrigued. Slow living is where people decide to have a more meaningful, balanced life. They do this by slowing things down and appreciating the world around them. It all started in Italy in the 80s and 90s. The slow living lifestyle is becoming more popular. I've been working on minimalism and living with less for several years now. But I still find myself rushing through things and often in a hurry. I've always been that way. Somehow I don't feel good about myself if I'm not being productive. We live in a hustle culture. The slow movement started with food. It's about enjoying cooking and eating your food and making preparing food fun. I can totally see how this started in Italy. Italy has some of the best food I've ever had. Rather than eating on the go and scarfing down our food, we can be more like the Europeans. When I was in Europe, I noticed this mentality right away. People sit in restaurants for hours and they don't bring you the check for hours. Being a person who's always in a hurry, I felt anxious just sitting in a restaurant for hours and having to ask for the check. Once I picked up on what was happening, I enjoyed it. We need to enjoy the flavors of our food and linger at the table. Obviously, this isn't possible for every meal, but we can do this more often. Being more intentional with how we spend our time and energy can reduce stress. Slowing down allows you to live a healthier life and improve your relationships. It helps reduce anxiety and helps you to have more meaningful experiences. So many of us are so used to the hustle, we're not even sure where to begin. If you're a hurrier like me, you might understand how uncomfortable it feels to slow down. It feels a little bit like you're being lazy. We can start by decluttering. That can be very therapeutic. I've been working on this for years and it does feel really good. We also need to prioritize self-care. We need to say no sometimes. We can cut down on our commitments and learn to set boundaries. This is also very hard for me. My oldest son made me read the book Boundaries. This book was by Henry Cloud and John Townsend. It was an interesting read. The big picture is that setting boundaries is actually the kind thing to do. I always felt like prioritizing myself was somehow selfish. This book explained how setting boundaries is actually a kindness to others. So set healthy boundaries with your commitments, your work, and your relationships. Work on being less overwhelmed and less busy. Say no to extra projects and tasks that you don't have to do. I tend to take on more commitments than I should. If you're overwhelmed, it's okay to say no or ask for help. There are different types of slow living. Slow living is actually more in the mind than anything else. But how can we live a slower life with demanding jobs and busy family lives? Slow living in a fast-paced world can seem impossible. The slow living movement shifts your focus to a simpler way of living. You don't have to change your life overnight. It's a constant journey of taking steps to slow down. Everything good takes time. Slow living comes with many benefits. We're human, we need time to rest and recharge. You can find a healthy balance between work and slow living. I wish I had figured this out while I was still working. I did not. But life in retirement can be just as busy as when you were working. So I'm still going to work on this. We're always rushing. Moving at a slower pace doesn't come naturally. At least it doesn't for me. Our technology devices feed our craving for stimulation. We can use technology as a distraction. It can deny us the chance to enjoy the present. I'm guilty of sitting at my computer for hours. Constantly doing things without breaks or breathing space can lead to chronic stress. Life happens. Slow living is a reminder to slow down, be present, and breathe. Make time for the things that are important to you. For me, this means making time for reading, writing, hiking, spending time with friends and family, photography, gardening, and traveling. If you're struggling to slow down because something's on your mind, taking a long walk might be just what you need. For me, I like to hike a couple different mountains near where I live. Even when you're busy, make time for this. Slow down and enjoy life. When you're enjoying activities, you'll feel calmer and less stressed. So it's worth making time for them. One of the most important things for me is making time to be with the people I care about. I do enjoy being on my own, but I'm trying to balance my time so that I'm also spending time with the people that I love. This can be hard when you're more of an introvert. It's also tricky to find the right balance between spending time with the people you care about and overwhelming yourself with too much socializing. If you're introverted like me, try to balance your time so you have time for yourself, but also spend time with the people you care about. Start small. You don't have to reinvent your entire life overnight. Make small changes that work for you over time. One thing will lead to another. Some changes will work for you and some won't. Slow living is a personal journey, and the whole point is taking it slow and not rushing. There's no one right way. Your version of slow living will be different than mine. Slow living is about living at the proper pace for you. It means being intentional and valuing quality over quantity. Intentional living means living in alignment with your own values. I hope this helps you think about slowing things down. I know I need to do more of this. Maybe you're way ahead of me and already live like this. Feel free to leave a comment and let us know what you think. Do you like the idea of slow living? Do you already live your life this way? Do you find it beneficial? I look forward to reading your comments. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Julie and this channel's Happy on Monday. Thanks for joining me. If you found this helpful, please like, and if you're interested in retiring early, consider subscribing. I'm going to leave you with a quote. Once we stop rushing through life, it's amazing how much more life we have time for. Hope to see you again soon.